used a, I think it's called a deep water culture system. So just bought some Tupperware from the shops, filled it up with water, put some nutrients in. Grew some plants in some lettuce, some oak leaf lettuce in, what was it, in permalite, and fed a little hose for an air brick into that. It grew really well, but I live in Thailand and it gets hot, so the lettuce turned out to be really bitter. So that was experiment for number one. It was quite successful, but it wasn't terribly tasty. My girlfriend didn't want to eat it. This is experiment number two. It's a bit more expanded on experiment number one. So this is a flow system. I've got my first two little lettuces in there as canary tests on the system. Let me take you on a quick tour of the system. So there's quite a few things I want to change. There's a lot of complexity that I fed into this system that really is unnecessary and added a bit more work than necessary. Here's my tank. As you can see, there's a super complicated piping system set up. This is about a 60,000 milliliter system or tank. I have a pump in the bottom, the air brick. This is the same air brick I used for experiment number one. That's powered by, why isn't this coming off? A little solar panel which charges a little battery in there, which then feeds air into the stone. Probably won't get sun here or light here every day, but it probably will be enough. And I think with the drainage hose over there, there's probably enough aeration of the water. So getting electricity from the inside, keeping it protected from the elements in a box that I drilled some holes into. That powers the pump. So the pump starts over here, runs all the way around to my feeders. So these are the garden variety black hoses, pushed through those little plastic bitties into the hose, which worked on testing, but then when I set it up on this system started to leak. So I've put on a lot of PVC cement, and I hope that that will hold. I don't know if there's any UV issues or what's going to happen, but we'll see. I might wake up one day and everything's dried out and died. So this feeds up. Bought these through Thai Hydro. Drilled a little hole in there and see the water flowing. I should probably have sanded down the inside of those holes. So I've got 4 hoses there. I think it's got enough of a flow rate, but we'll see. If not, then I'll have to figure something else out. I've got this on a circular system, on a circular hose, primarily so that I can regulate the flow rate with this little hose. So that's turn there on, and then less flow goes through the system. Put a little resistance in, and more water flows through the piping. My drainage set up this way. my first setup, I glued this in, which was a pain in the ass and will be a pain in the ass in the future, because then I had to attach this while this was already on, while it was already attached to this system, to this pipe. So trying to get it off and moving things around or fixing, and it's kind of not a modular system, so it's just going to be a problem. These ones I didn't glue in, I only glued in the top part, and then added the fitting on after I attached it to the drainage hose, and that was just a much better, more simple, easier system to use, and it'll be a bit easier to fix if there's a problem going forward. So yeah, that's my system. I'm using this solution. It worked really well in experiment number 1. So it's a 1 to 100 or 1 to 200 ratios. What do you call it? A soup, a syrup. Put in 260 mils into the tank. Hopefully that'll work, yeah. So there we go. Come on.